What's up, bro? Welcome to Nobody's Take, a place where men can have honest conversations about life, faith, family, purpose, and the battles we face along the way. I'm Mike. Let's talk. What's up, bro? Welcome back. Have a seat and let's talk. This is your first time here? Welcome. Pull up a chair. Ever since episode 1 went live, I've found myself paying a lot of more attention to what men are saying online. Many comments are coming from guys who are struggling with addiction. Some mention pornography, some mention alcohol, some mention drugs. Some say they're carrying a struggle they're too ashamed to even name. And if we're being honest, I think every man has something he's battling. Some addictions are obvious, some are hidden, but addictions nonetheless. And it got me thinking. I've heard people say, I've been free from pornography, I've been free from alcohol, I've been delivered. And that's awesome, but what does that actually mean? Does freedom mean you never think about it again? Does freedom mean temptation disappears? Or does freedom look different than most of us imagine? Because if I'm being honest, I've wrestled with those questions too. So after some studying, some praying, and a lot of personal experience, I think I'm starting to understand something. Not because I've mastered this, but because I'm learning. So if you're willing to be honest and admit you might be fighting something too, let's try to figure this out together. Addiction feels a lot like a habit. Do something long enough and eventually it becomes second nature, whether it's intentional or not. But before addiction becomes a habit, it usually starts somewhere. For me, it was R-rated movies, puberty was kicking in, hormones were raging, and no guardrails in place to guide me. And every time one of those scenes appeared on screen, it had created a dopamine hit I had never experienced before. Anybody remember late night Skinamax? Yeah, some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. What's interesting is that I've never touched alcohol, not once. Never picked up a bottle, never taken a drink. Mostly because growing up, I heard things my dad went through and I just didn't want to mess with it. So how can you miss something you've never had? But those images, the feeling, that was different. And looking back, I think I know why. I had no accountability. I had nobody helping me navigate those waters, nobody explaining what I was feeling, nobody teaching me how to handle desire, nobody showing me what a healthy relationship was supposed to look like. So naturally, I learned from whatever was available. Movies, magazines, the early internet, and unfortunately, those things became my teachers. The problem is they taught me pleasure, they never taught me about commitment. They taught me attraction, they never taught me responsibility. They taught me how to consume women, but never how to value them. Before I knew it, I was learning lessons that would take years to unlearn. Now, here's where things got interesting for me because as I started asking myself what freedom actually looks like, I found myself thinking about David. Yes, that David, hang on, follow my logic here. A man who had accomplished incredible things. A man who was respected, trusted, successful, and yet one day he saw someone he wanted and couldn't let it go. What started as a look became a desire. What started as a desire became a decision. What started as a decision became a cover-up. And before long, people were getting hurt. Relationships were destroyed. Lives were changed forever. When I read the story today, I don't see some ancient Bible character. I see a man whose desire started making decisions for him. And that's what addiction looks like. It starts small, a thought, a feeling, curiosity. Then slowly it begins taking up more space in your mind until one day you're making decisions you never thought you'd make, saying things you never thought you'd say, hiding things you never thought you'd hide. The scary part is that most addictions don't feel dangerous in the beginning. They feel comforting, exciting, rewarding. That's why they're so difficult to spot. David didn't wake up one morning planning to destroy relationships. He simply kept saying yes to something he should have said no to. If I'm being honest, I've done the exact same thing in my own life. Eventually I got tired. the loneliness, the emptiness, chasing something that never seemed to satisfy me for very long. And I realized I had a choice to make. I could continue down this path I was on, or I could pursue the life that I truly wanted. A wife, a family, a future. But little by little, I began seeing the grip that addiction had on me, the lies it told me, the promises it never kept. And for the first time in my life, I started fighting back. The problem was I couldn't do it alone. What I've learned through this fight is freedom doesn't necessarily mean you never think about it again. Freedom doesn't mean temptations disappear. Freedom means it no longer gets to make your decisions for you. You stop handing it power. You learn to say no. You recognize the thought, reject it, and move on. Now, don't get me wrong. This is still a war, and for many men, it may be a lifelong one. But if you fight long enough, something interesting happens. The things that used to control you start losing their grip. The things that used to pull you in start losing their power. Today, I can come across something provocative online, in a movie, somewhere out in the world, and not be moved by it. Do I go looking for it? Absolutely not. But we live in a world where temptation is constantly being marketed to us. Every scroll, every advertisement, every movie, every platform seems to be competing for our attention and our dopamine. The difference now is that temptation may show up, but it doesn't get a vote. And for me, that's what freedom looks like. So here's my challenge to you. Take some time this week and honestly reflect on what has a hold on you. What keeps showing up? What keeps pulling you back? What keeps promising relief but leaves you feeling empty afterwards? Whatever it is, start paying attention to it. Become aware of when it shows up. And the moment it does, slam the door in its face. Start small. Stack a couple of wins, because even crumbs eventually become a whole cake. Say no to the drink. Say no to the cigarettes. Say no to unnecessary spending that keeps you broke. Say no to explicit videos. Say no to the urge to search for something you know you shouldn't. Then after a while, reevaluate. Is it getting easier? Is it staying the same? Do you need to make bigger changes? Do you need more accountability? Do you need more support? And remember, I couldn't do it alone. I tried over and over and over again. I failed more times than I can count. There were moments where I became so frustrated and so impatient that I just wanted to give up. I remember thinking, what's the point? Because every failure felt like proof that I'd never changed. Looking back now, things probably would have been easier if I had someone walking alongside me, somebody to encourage me, someone building me up, someone willing to have the hard conversations. But I wasn't completely out of options, because all my life I had heard about someone who restores broken things, who heals, who forgives, someone who takes people who feel trapped and gives them hope. And for the first time, I stopped treating Jesus like a story I had heard about and started treating him like a person I could actually talk to. Now, don't get it twisted. Even with his help, this wasn't easy. It's still a grueling fight. But why would I expect anything less? This addiction had been training my mind for years. Then one day, I came across a verse that hit me right between the eyes. For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. That's powerful, because a sound mind is self-control. It's strength. It's taking back territory. It's reclaiming authority over things you couldn't have before. Now, if you're not a believer, that's fine. It's okay. Find somebody, a mentor, a friend, a support group. Find somebody who will listen, encourage you, challenge you, and help you grow. And don't be so hard on yourself. This is a tough fight, but it's a fight worth fighting. And if you ever find yourself feeling like you've run out of options, maybe try what I tried. You might be surprised with what happens. So I'll leave you guys with this. Love you guys. Thank you for spending time with me today. Keep showing up, keep fighting, keep stacking the wins. And remember, Temptation may show up, but it doesn't get a vote. I'll see you next week.